Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, how dare you, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by a bunch of people, wow. Neil, Len, Click OK, Jin, Arthur, One Deck, and a whole bunch of people in the Flipside Discord server. So welcome one and all.
Now that's more like it.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
I had to grab my breath halfway through the intro. I've just run out to go and grab bread and milk just before the live show started, so I'm really out of breath now. I don't know if you could tell during the intro. I've got it down pat, so you probably couldn't tell that badly that I was out of breath. But I am. Hopefully my wife will come up with a coffee as a result, though, which is always good and always nice. How's it all been going? Good, Nathan.
Oh, good. Len's put some stuff together for the new intro. I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
That looks pretty good. Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. Fantastic. Any chance you can show us, Len? Are you tied up doing things?
Is he here?
He is here. He's in the hangout. But he might not be here, if you know what I mean.
It's in Master B. It's labeled, I forgot what he labeled it. A couple of them, we could pull it up. Master B.
Hello.
There he is.
Yes, sorry, I'm currently working at the moment. But yeah, I know you came up with a little outline for what you were after, but I was up till stupid o'clock last night. I just stitched them all together, came up with a lot of new renders. And yeah, there's two versions. There's one with some random bloody tune that I put together just to keep a note of a line that bloody One Deck said. It's a bit cheesy and gothy, but then I realised I could just screen record it with roast chicken over the top of it. So there's two, but they're both exactly the same. The flow quite nice, apart from the end bit. But yeah.
Oh, is this it? Rough compilation roast chicken.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay, there's two of them, right? Rough compilation cheese. It says. Should I just play both of them? I don't know if I can actually play them. Okay, I'll have to figure out how to get them from Master B into the Hangout. Let me just see if I can figure that out first.
But yeah, I'm working, and it takes me about 5 minutes to get my phone out my pocket and on mute.
It's all right. I got them. Open in browser. Next. To present a passkey. What? Just let me play it. Okay, I think I've got it to work. Let's just make this big and share it in the Hangout. Just give me 30 more seconds. Talk amongst yourselves for a second or two. Yeah, so we're really pleased to be here.
Nice work you did there, Tommy.
Tommy?
Yeah, talking about vaccine chat. But Len, yeah, so you've been on it, huh?
Okay,
Work.
This is rough compilation cheesy goth theme. Cheesy goth theme. Oh, cheesy go. Yeah, cheesy goth. I was right the second time. Okay, let's just have a listen.
Flat. That's a statement of fact. I don't care what you think about that, 'cause it was measured that way. Oh.
Awesome. Right, let's have a look at the other one. Got that one? Yep.
I'm spitting facts that Earth's measured flat. You might not like that, but facts are facts. Vertical heights from surface level. Horizontal linear measurements on the scale of maps axiomatically proves that, ooh, you might not like that, but facts are facts. And I'm spitting it flat in that perpendicular to a plane of reference that's height right parallel, flight level above sea level. If the earth was flat, we would measure it flat. We measure it flat, so earth is flat. And I'm spitting facts about that. You might not like that. You can't assume earth a sphere by circular reasoning, but when you measure it flat, it contradicts that.
It's absolutely awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, that one is brilliant. That one. Yeah, love that one.
Yeah, I didn't have an MP3 of One Deck's song, so it's not really beat matched or anything like that, or the cuts to any key moments in the song. But yeah, I need an MP3 of that, and I can work it together better. There's still a few frames and stuff that I could do with rendering and some ideas.
Oh, but as a work in progress, that is like 90% there, isn't it? I mean, that is so cool. I had no idea I'd be presenting that to an audience today. But, you know...
I did pull quite a long day yesterday from when I was working on it, talking to you till probably about 5 in the bloody morning. Oh. Then I started work at 7.
I'm amazed. I'm absolutely overwhelmed. That is so cool. And the fact that I can just stick it up and now present it to an audience and they can get an idea of what the new intro will look like a proper good idea as well. Like, that is superb. I'm almost lost for words. That is absolutely brilliant. I'm so chuffed. What do you all think?
I seen it this morning. I was like, Nathan's going to love this.
Yeah, it's epic. It's great. Yeah, it's time for a new intro, right? We've gone from fighting from within a concept that we had no clue about, talking about distances to a geometric horizon based on earth curve maths that I was ignorant of, and so was everyone around me, being educated by ballers on how to use their begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking earth curve calculator with flat earth measurements being the input values, to arguing within the confines of heliocentrism about heliocentrism as though we're heliocentrists with an advanced knowledge. So I remember a couple of years ago, Refracted Curvature telling me off because I was saying, well, we are like advanced heliocentrists now. And I wasn't wrong. He just didn't like the sentiment. And I cannot blame him, right? When you're talking about a subject matter that's devoid of heliocentrism, that's to say how Earth is flat, why would you deem yourself an advanced heliocentrist? Well, it's because, although I was grasping at straws to try and explain this back then, it's because that's precisely what we were. Now, moving forward into the latter stages of flat Earth debate in modern times, we're talking about how Earth is always measured flat, and that there aren't any exceptions to that. So having One Deck's theme tune that summarises that exact position, with just pictures of people measuring Earth in all different ways, be it elevation angles from aeroplanes or from up a mountain. I'm glad that's in there. It's one of the responses from idiot ballers. Well, what if you're up a mountain? Can you use a sextant then? It's like, I'm pretty sure if you're up a mountain, you know where you are. You know what I mean? It's not like you're going to not know which mountain you're on. But there we go. I mean, fair enough. We've put it in. I say we. Len's put it in. But yeah, now we're at a point where the old school version of flat Earth, that's anti-globe rhetoric, is moot. It's almost entirely redundant. Because regardless of your belief, regardless of what you want to choose to think the Earth is, it gets measured the exact same way by everyone always. Once you know that, do you need to know Aristophanes' version? Well, I suppose he's also measuring Earth flat. That's not a good example. Do you need to know Al-Biruni's first name to know Earth's measured flat?
Negative.
You just need to know how the measurements are done. Or refer to any measurements of Earth ever, and you'll know it's flat, because that's how it's measured. Now, for our opponents currently, let's call them what they are, former opponents. They want to justify how Earth gets measured flat because it's a really big ball, or because it's easier. You're like, yeah, it is easier to measure Earth flat because that's what it is. Now, there's no apologetics required from our side of this discussion when you also disclaim how flat Earth gets measured. The fact that you have to add a disclaimer that doesn't mean it's flat when we've just measured it flat. It's just convenient to measure it flat when it's not flat. Like, okay, you double-speaking bunch of clowns, we're no longer going to be interacting with you, we don't need you anymore. You know it's flat, we know it's flat. Anybody measuring it knows it's flat. And for the most part, if you're a normie, you go out, you measure it flat, and you don't feel or see the need to explain that it isn't after you've measured it to be flat. Cognitively, you're not saying, well, I must explain how flat it isn't after this, because otherwise a load of anti-baller rhetorics will chase me down.
We were getting more resistance from within with Earth is measured flat than without. The ballers know it's measured flat, and that's what Refracted said. They know it too. They utilize it that way. The resistance came from within. Major resistance.
Yeah.
You do still get it a little bit. The video we watched yesterday with the gentleman within 15 seconds tell us how the sub-altitude from horizontal plane, as we witnessed, did go on to talk about hemispheres and working this out inside the sphere that we live on, going inside to do the measurements. So we still do have that cog disc going on, don't we? We witnessed it yesterday.
Yeah, there's going to be a certain level of that where people feel that they're compelled to explain how ball-shaped Earth still is, even though we are measuring it flat. But for the most part, like I say, for 90% of that video yesterday, the guy's just detailing how we measure Earth. Now, when he comes to describe the sphere wrapped around your position to give you the angles to the sun, he's saying, well, that's not the sphere of Earth that we're drawing us in. It's like, well, au contraire, that is the sphere of Earth. We just can't be inside a ball Earth that you imagined after measuring it flat. And you can't make the protractor you measured the flat Earth with the ball surface that you're not standing on. Disclaiming that, well, it's just a sphere, it doesn't mean it's the sphere planet that I believe I'm on. It's like, well, if you believe you're on a sphere planet, show how you measure that. Don't describe being within a protractor view on a flat plane, measuring Earth's surface as flat, only to later disclaim that it's not the ball we live on, it's just a different ball that we're in, measuring angles from a flat plane inside a ball. We're not in a ball.
Doesn't it sound? I can't think of the word. It sounds absolutely insane when you put it like that. But that's what's happening. That's what they're thinking. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's good that we can actually highlight that to the unknowing Glober who's been indoctrinated. So if you put it across and explain it, because you're going to have to explain what that's going on there, this is how they deceive you. That's fine. And it's measured flat is all very well. It's fantastic. It's great. But sometimes you may have to elaborate. That's all. And sometimes old school stuff will have to come to play. The older good arguments that we have, or good statements of fact that we have, will come to play. No doubt about it. Because not everyone's going to get it straight off the bat. That's been my experience.
Well, there were arguments back then. Make no mistake about it.
No,
we were arguing.
Points, facts. Yeah.
But we were arguing. But the thing now is why we have the upper hand is we've turned it from an argument to statements of fact. And you don't argue statements of fact. When we say Earth's measured flat, that's a statement of fact in everything that you do, whether it be celestial navigation, whether it be surveying, whether it be pitch data on a flight. You're all measuring Earth flat, and that's a fact.
We're spitting facts about that. Some people might not like that.
But my point is, there's not a debate about it. It's a measurement.
Yeah,
it's certainly not going to like the horizontal constant. They're not going to like that. I'll tell you that.
I agree. I like it, Chin.
No, that is how it's being measured, though, by everyone. Now you can lie and say, oh, well, we don't only measure Earth flat, end quote, Simon Dan. But that would be a lie, because we only measure Earth flat. There aren't any exceptions to it. Dan himself measured Earth flat thousands of times with the participating audience that he instructed to go out and measure it, so that he's not just measuring it locally. You know, he's measuring it all over the place flat. But that's how it got measured.
Sorry, that's what I was going to ask you. In that video, if he's saying we don't only measure Earth flat, then what were those 1,000 people doing?
But they were all measuring Earth flat, Neil, like this on screen now. This is what they were measuring. Elevation angles from a flat plane to the sun. Thousands of them.
So then you only measure Earth flat.
Yeah, he only measured Earth flat when he got thousands of people to measure Earth flat for an elevation angle to the sun. That's what he did. Only flat Earth measurements. That's all that they produced.
They're constantly using horizontal baselines, aren't they? That's all they're doing.
It's just absolutely final, isn't it? It's final when you tell them that Earth is measured flat and has always been measured flat for eons. You know, there you go. It's final, isn't it? There's just no escaping it.
Yeah. But, you know, you've got to create some sort of air of finality by hijacking a scientific method and calling it an experiment when you're just measuring Earth flat in an alleged to be Antarctic visit. That sort of final experiment is ultimately just a lie about measuring Earth flat in the same way that's on screen now. You know, measuring the sun moving around your position for its elevation angles throughout the day is just a string of flat Earth measurements. Not an experiment. But if you suggest that your final experiment draws a conclusion to Earth not being flat, it's like, well, why on earth would you measure it flat for the whole time you were there then? Why would you fly in parallel flight to the ground at a flight level if it's not flat? I mean, that makes no sense to me. But, I mean, there's delusional idiots out there that tell themselves that they're doing experiments when they're just measuring Earth flat, and that their flat Earth measurements, called falsely an experiment, somehow will put some finality to Earth not being flat. Like, man, these people are really deluded.
In the Bible, it talks about how the line has gone out. Let me read it real quick. In Psalm 19, it says, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Day unto day are the speech, and night unto night shows knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them has he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber and rejoices as a strong man to run a race. So we see that the sun is moving, and their line has gone out through all the earth. That's a measurement.
Vernon von Braun put that on his gravestone, or had it put onto his gravestone.
Yeah, the first section. Yeah.
Yeah.
The firmament declareth the glory of God is on his tombstone. It just says Psalms, what is it, 19:1?
19:1.
Yeah, so he doesn't actually write it out. He just writes Psalm 19:1 on his tomb, or he has had written. Presumably not by him. He's dead.
Yeah, but I like their line has gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them has he set a tabernacle for the sun.
Tabernacle is
measurement.
A tabernacle's like a bar, isn't it?
It's a sort of like a tent. Tabernacle. Let me check it out.
I thought tabernacle meant something akin to a bar. Tabernacle meaning biblical use.
Sanctuary. Is a portable sanctuary, a dwelling place, or a cabinet used for religious purposes. Historically, it refers to the portable sanctuary built by the Israelites. Okay, yeah. But yeah, he's put a tabernacle for the sun. But the sun is what's moving.
In biblical use, fixed, movable dwelling, typically of light construction, tent or sanctuary, Ark of the Covenant by the Israelites during the Exodus, or a meeting place to worship for non-conformists or Latter-day Saints, that's Mormons, or ornamental reciprocal or cabinet containing the reserved sacrament that may be placed in Catholic churches, usually on or above an altar.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's interesting that he said a tabernacle for the sun.
I mean, just on a different note, it does sort of sound like he's. I'm not getting involved with this one, but what I'm saying is, it also with what you've just said there, it sounds like what we say when you've got the protractor sort of view, the perspective dome over your head. Could it be similar to that, isn't it? In a way.
AI
Yeah, it's
overview
movement.
says, in the Bible, the tabernacle was a portable sanctuary or dwelling place for God among the Israelites from the time of the Exodus until the building of the first temple. Okay. I thought it was a bar. I thought it had a load of people in there getting shit-faced, but obviously not.
Anyway, as well as that, what we're talking about is we've got the light in the sky we call the sun that gives us the our time and seasons, and we measure elevation angles to it. It's used in celestial navigation as well as the other lights in the sky, and it's useful for that, to obtain its GP, to get your position on Earth. Mean sea level can be used for the horizontal baseline, for the elevation angle, when doing so.
Also, I think the tabernacle is also found on ships, the old sailing ships, where they can lower the mast to go under bridges and that, where it joins the deck, one deck. Okay, tabernacle.
One deck.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I jumped out to listen to the videos on YouTube, which is lagging a bit, but yeah, they was great, especially the roast chicken one.
Yeah, I really like the roast chicken song. I hope that in the final product that becomes the intro, it'll be linked with the rap itself rather than just the song. That is to say, the rap is the main bit that gets used.
Yeah, the finger licking chicken only got the measurements missing. But
yeah, I think that's ace. I just like the rap. I think it's good.
Let me just for that line thing, the phrase "their line has gone out" is a biblical reference, most famously from Psalm 19:4. That means the message of God's glory is communicated through creation to all parts of the earth, even without a spoken language. It uses the metaphor of a measuring line to suggest the extent of God's message about his power and divinity, which is understood through the observable universe. Well, no, that's world, and is considered undeniable evidence of God's existence. The line represents a measuring. That's something, isn't it?
Yes. On a slightly aside note, my favourite line or favourite comment response underneath the "If Earth Was a Big Roast Chicken" video was someone saying words to the effect of, "Witsit and Eli sound really good collaborating together."
No way.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh boy. Yeah, it's a good song, and it takes us forward to the new phase of flat Earth debate. Out with the old, in with the new. You got a solid panel here.
I just think life's a lot more laid back post roads leading to flat Earth. That is to say, when a full, as it is at the moment, a full comprehension of that fact is attained by the panel and the people who surround the show, and to a certain degree the audience, then it becomes a lot less stressful. The show becomes a lot more laid back. That's why I want to kind of put that sentiment into each time I put the rhetoric forward. Like, it's not that serious. Earth's just measured flat. Because I don't think it is that serious. Given that any normie who goes out and measures Earth measures it flat. Why would it be so serious? It's only serious if you believe it's a ball. And suddenly you've got to start making disclaimers for how, even though it's measured flat, that doesn't mean it is. I mean, that's stupid and stressful if you're the person having to say that. But for us, it's just measured flat because it's just measured flat. There's no big deal here. So what? Just go out and measure Earth and you'll find out how flat it is. What's the big deal?
Exactly.
Yeah, it is quite laid back, that song. If you listen to Wondex, it's a laid back attitude type, whereas the original one, dun, 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 and dun, your old song, it's like you're ready, you're tense, you're ready for a fight.
Yeah.
Now we're laid back.
Da-da-dun, 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 da-da-dun. That was how the original one went. Now it's a lot more sort of, well, if Earth was a big roast chicken, it'll just sound more relaxed as the show begins.
I think it has good some, and that, like I say, that them, even though we use them wordings when we're describing that particular song that I did, was all me just roughly writing things down when Nathan was talking to Mez on that show, and just writing random things down. I wasn't thinking about anything. Just heard Nathan say something, write it down. Heard him say something else, write it down. So it's all your words in there, Nathan. I added a few in to just sort of do that, but and then I just threw it into a program, and there you go.
Yeah, but the song, the beat, it demonstrates our position in it now.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Relaxed, laid back. This is us now.
Yeah, and we're just saying you might not like that, but there's nothing we can do about that. If the Earth was flat, it would be measured flat. It is measured flat, so the Earth is flat.
I love that. I love all that. I love all that. That is really emphasizing flat Earth right there. Yeah. And you're saying, so don't sweat it. Don't sweat it because it's measured flat.
It's like
it's got like a chill feel to it. Like, you know,
Ed Sheeran.
it's nothing like that.
Sounds like Ed Sheeran to me.
Yeah. And he's smooth.
Yeah.
Laid back.
You don't get much higher praise than being described as sounding like Ed Sheeran. That is pretty high praise, I would say.
Agreed. But he's chilling, laid back. No stress at all.
I mean, it was difficult for me to get my voice that day to be sounding like that, but I managed to, just do some throat exercises, and that's how I came up with it.
And he just called in Witsit, and Witsit overdubbed the song, and Eli then did the rap, and Bob's your uncle. Yeah, as is the case on a Tuesday, I take my eldest daughter to an art class, and what I've been doing, not that I anticipated this would be the case at this particular juncture when it comes to the book, is writing specific anecdotes about things that have gone on during the time that I've been making this show. And today, what I was writing about specifically was about copyright. Not just because I've had a couple of thieving bastards try and steal my fifth draft and call it a second book, but because also prior to them even appearing on the scene, and many of you may or may not remember this, there was a period early on in Flat Earth debate history where the entire show was completely shut down by about, I'm going to say 19 copyright strikes that all came simultaneously. So what I had to do was chase down the company that was being suggested to be making these copyright strikes, find the owner of the company, and take him to court. So I had to sue. And in order to do that, I needed Anthony Riley to go to the location of the building that was being used in the address on the copyright strikes, track down the guy, and get disclaimers from him so that he could be sued, and him turn around after being sued, because I needed to demonstrate to YouTube that I'd taken legal action by suing somebody, and have him disclaim that he had no idea that they had even been done, that they'd been done in his name without him knowing anything about it. In other words, he wasn't applying for copyright against me, even though his name and company name was being used to put all these bogus copyright claims, all one after the next. And he reached a point where all 4 of my YouTube channels, that's Nathan Oakley 1980, Nathan Oakley, Oakley Chord, and what is now called Flat Earth Debate, were all shut down with copyright strikes and waiting to be wiped off the face of the earth by YouTube. Now, for anybody who's unaware about how it works with copyright strikes, if you get 3 copyright strikes, it's 3 strikes and you're out. They remove your channel from YouTube. I had on this channel 19 all at once. I had to fight all of them through the courts. Now, at the time, I didn't have the support I do today. And a very kind chap called William Gensker basically bankrolled me being able to sue. So he paid the instruction fees and a few other fees while Anthony was going out and digging, like boots on the ground, basically, finding out who the person who was alleged to be putting these copyright strikes in. The guy had no idea. Like, he's just some random guy that somebody had picked to use as a company name. But the guy himself, who owned the company, who I won't repeat, and it won't go into the book either because it's not fair on that guy, was being dragged into court because some arsehole had decided to use his name to put in fake copyright strikes against me. Very stressful time. And at that time, I thought that was the end. I thought, this is the end. There's no more channels. They're going to take them all off me. And like I say, I didn't have the kind of support I had today, where if it happened today, I'm pretty sure I could rebuild relatively quickly. Whereas back then, I was just some guy. You know, the only thing I'd done of any note was tracking the sun and was just starting to run the debate. But it pissed somebody off enough to instigate dozens, and I do mean dozens, of copyright strikes against all of my channels all at once. I can still see it in the statistics. So it was of significant note enough that the graph that shows my overall views. So if you go to my info for this channel and look up views, it'll give you a graph for all of the views from when the channel first became a channel to date. And in that, you can see where there's this big V shape where it all drops to 0, where there's no views. And it stays like that for, I don't know how long it was, I can't remember now. It might have been a couple of months, but a while. And then it goes back up to how it was. Like, the channels get reinstated and then I go back to work. But for a time, I couldn't pay my mortgage. I had no income. There was no Patreon at the time. There was just the revenue that I got from the channel, and that was it. And it dropped to 0 because the channel was completely shut down temporarily while I sued for copyright, or for bogus copyright.
So there were no shows going on at that time?
No, it all got shut down. All 4 of the channels were effectively turned off while I fought court battles.
Did you find out who did this nasty piece of work?
Pardon?
Did you find out who was responsible for this?
No. No, all I could do was sue the named party and submit to YouTube that I had to show the court documents that I'd got from the courts to YouTube. I had to supply them with them and say, look, I am suing this individual. And this individual had to write back and say, I am not making any of these claims. I am not the claimant. Somebody's stepping. I don't know. I can't remember exactly how he phrased it, but basically pointed out to YouTube on my behalf. He had to. He was being sued. That he had no involvement in it. It was just being used. I don't know if the word patsy is the correct word, or scapegoat. I can't remember what the word you'd use, but he was like a bogus party that had no involvement. It'd be like me picking a random shop name and then going to some random YouTube channel and using that shop name to put in a copyright claim against that individual. That was what had happened to this guy. And he was like, you know, perfectly amiable guy. He just didn't need to be dragged into some bogus copyright claims that he had nothing to do with. But that was the only way to be able to submit to YouTube. No, I have taken this guy to court.
What about the copyright?
Hold on. Did you feel like you were over the target at that point? Did you feel like, what's going on here? I'm just putting a flat debate show and I'm getting 19 copyright strikes? I must be over the target here.
Yeah, that's when I started the debate.
But were there any copyright, strikes?
No. Every single one of them was bogus because I owned all the material. What it'd be like copyright striking this show. It's like, no, there's nothing to copyright strike. It's all mine.
But why did they shut you down? I mean, wouldn't they look into that and think, well, this isn't actually copyright; it's actually bogus, so we can't do anything about it? What?
But that's what they said initially. You're going to need to show that you've taken court action. So I did. Like I say, I didn't have the money to do it. I didn't have the money to keep my mortgage paid or my lights on at the time. But for the fact that there was people in the community that saw what was happening to me and went, I'll pay for you to take out this court action. In other words, I'll bankroll you to take the person to court. Even though the person hadn't done anything wrong, the person who was named and being taken to court hadn't done anything wrong. I had to show that that was occurring to YouTube to get my channels reinstated. It was a hell of a time. It was really miserable.
Bloody hell. Wouldn't know where to start with all that.
Yeah, but sterling work all round for those in the community who came to your aid, and then your unwavering tenacity to take it through to the law courts and then to demonstrate that, look, I've sued this person, what's going on, basically. Because that's ridiculous censorship. That's out of order.
Yeah, and then I can't remember if it was William or someone else also assisted in retaining all of my videos, because obviously they were going to vanish. And up until then, there was several hundred debates that had already taken place. And they started a website on my behalf, which is now gone. But nathanoakley.com was started so that there was a hosting ability to put all of the debates and shows and Flat Earth UK and clips and everything that I'd done work-wise, probably consisting of several thousand videos, all in one place in case the worst happened. That is to say, should my videos have been permanently removed because YouTube did delete my channels, they would have been posted now on a .com rather than on YouTube. Now that, fortunately for me, never actually came to be the case, and that eventually didn't need to be, that became redundant rather than my YouTube channel getting wiped out. So after tons and tons of work, like daily uploading videos, labeling them and putting thumbnails on them for the website, it was taking up hours and hours and hours of time, all while fighting copyright court battles and dealing with YouTube whilst no money was coming in.
Sounds like you know a little bit about this. You've been to court for copyright. Sounds like you got like a little knowledge about this. Oh,
I've been
boy.
to court. I've sued people multiple times for various different things. I've sued for unfair dismissal. I've sued for what's the rich man's tort called? I don't know what it's called now. Defamation of character. I've sued for that. Sued for all sorts of things. And won.
Well done. Last year, I had 3 attempts at shutting down 3 separate accounts. First of all, it was my YouTube account, right? I was locked out of it. So I couldn't access my material. So there's a little area where you can actually appeal. So I appealed it, right? On the grounds that the reason you've stopped my account is because of something that happened 4 years ago. What's going on? The next day it was back on. I gained access the next day. So I was quite lucky there. The other one was on my Skype. It was some character. When you have your contact list, there was somebody that I didn't know, that I don't know this guy, clicked on it, shut down my Skype. You know what I mean? Right? Shut down the account. So I tried to put all my details back in and managed to fire it up again. Okay, that was cool. And then the last one was Discord wasn't allowing me to verify my account, and I was locked out of it for 3 months. Returned this year, January. There you go. So, and I was sharing material on some controversial stuff, which it seemed controversial, deemed controversial. It's not really, but that's why I got this attack last year. 3 attacks on my YouTube, on the Skype, and on the Discord last year.
Right. Nathan, yours happened before all the censorship, though, right?
Yeah, that was before the announcement in Congress. Yeah.
Wow, they were looking to shut this down immediately.
We've got Rob Noxious in the chat saying free Rob Noxious. I'll just read out one of his stalky comments. You are a scumbag piece of shit and are going down, you white nigger. That's a message from Rob Noxious to me on one of my private messaging services. That's what he wrote to me.
Oh, he said he's going to behave, but that's what he said in the past. I don't think we should ever let him back on the show. No. He's only saying he's going to behave for one reason, and when it gets on, he's going to take that opportunity to say something derogatory.
Yeah, like I say, this is somebody sending me these messages, harassing me basically, calling me a white nigger, end quote, Rob Noxious, in messaging chats. You're a scumbag, Rob Noxious. You don't deserve to be here. Anyway, I'll now unceremoniously block this person.
Is he in the chat on the live show, Nathan?
Yeah. Like I say, I've mentioned this particular individual being a very creepy stalker type, abusive in private messages, which is why he's been banned from various different servers previously. Right, and then he's going, free Rob Noxious? You're like, what are you on?
Yeah, he's emotionally and mentally unstable. Unstable.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah,
I don't want
he
people
said,
like that
man,
around me.
that was years ago. It don't matter if it was freaking 10 years ago. That's what was in your heart.
It's a lie.
And I don't believe it's out.
That was June 2024. Like a year ago.
That's not years. That's a year.
Yeah, like I say, I don't need that kind of abuse. I mean, it's not that serious, right? You don't need to be turning around and calling me a white nigger just because Earth's measured flat. There's no need for it. It's not that serious.
Yeah, some people just don't like that, Nathan.
You might not like that, but a fact's a fact.
It's measured flat, horizontal constant. That's what it is.
He said it's between us. Nah, that's it. I agree. But yesterday we asked you when you said fine. Not today you got a change of heart, Nathan.
Now, when you're running a live show, you've just got too many things in the air, too many plates spinning. I can't remember everybody's name and what they've done. There's more than one abusive wanker out there. So, you know, one fake screen name sounds very similar to the next, in my opinion. And when you're doing multiple different things, you don't know who's who immediately. But then after you think, who is that guy? Oh, yeah, I do remember. Creepy stalker. Abusive. No, you don't deserve to be around me.
His last campaign was to get you and everybody affiliated with you kicked off of YouTube.
Exactly.
Out.
Exactly. So while I do this for the sole purpose of living, this is my living. It's what I do. This is my career. All right, I've been doing it for 10 years. What cracks me up the most is when people say, go and get a job. Like, this is my job. This is what I do for a living. So when someone comes along and goes, well, you know what, I'm going to install a load of fake copyright strikes against this person, it means that I can't pay bills. That's all it means. Like, you're taking food out my own kids' mouths. Now, when someone like that comes along and says, I want to shut this man down and take him off YouTube, you mean you want to end my career? Why? I'm a YouTuber. It's what I do for a living. This is what I do to keep the lights on, to feed my kids, to pay the mortgage. That's what I do. This is what I do. So when you come along and say, I want to end that, why? Because you don't like the Earth's measured flat? That's scummy. Like, criminally scummy.
How come they don't go after broadcasting crews, people that broadcast on TV, and claim that that's not a job? Why don't they tell those people to get jobs?
Because they're idiots.
I mean, that to me like seems like somebody who actually deep down themselves knows that Earth is measured flat, but you know, just wants to hold on to the globe dream. And people like you who are spitting out facts about how it's measured, he can't handle it. He just wants to shut you up because he's sick of hearing it. He knows it's true, but he don't want it to be true because it'll burst his little globe bubble.
Yeah, but one deck is not. It's got to be still. Even if I was generous and gave us, since this started, this new resurgence of flat Earth, let's say 2014, maybe 25% of the Western world now understand and know it's flat. It's still 75-25. What are they afraid of?
Being made to look stupid.
Like, how did you explain it last time? You know, it's like you can't, you know, if you've got blood in your veins, you know, if you believe that you live on a globe and that's what you've been taught and that's what you want to believe, just believe it. Why are you taking so much time to fight against something that is absolutely ridiculous and only retarded people called flat earthers believe in. You just leave them to it.
Right. We're not going to their channels and telling them Earth is flat, get off the globe. We're just demonstrating daily how Earth is flat. And they're coming to us and telling us, no,
Yes.
we're going to take you down.
I really like the contrast, Neil. I think that's an epic contrast. So, over the last few years, when we have been covering anti-flat Earth people like Simon Dan, Craig, Fugly Dave, whoever, we've been saying, go to their channel and support them. The hope being that they'd return the favour, like go and let them know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, build them up, give them views, give them comments, support them as a fellow YouTube videographer. That's what we say. Now, our rhetoric's slightly different, but still along the same vein, which is, we support you in your belief. If you want to believe you're on a ball, more power to you, you're entitled to your belief. Now, we don't have a belief in a flat Earth. It's just how Earth's measured. It's not that serious. Earth's just measured flat. But what's that? You want to shut me down? Call me a white nigger? Get rid of my channel? Take food out of my kid's mouth? Why? Why? We've got nothing but peace and love for you in your belief for a ball. One deck's just given you his explicit permission. You're allowed to believe in a ball. We're not going to stop you. If you want to believe you're on a ball flying around the sun, you can. You're entitled to your belief. It won't change how Earth is measured. Flat in all instances and without exception. And we understand that. Some of you on your ball side, you understand that too. Like Simon Dan, quote, we don't only measure Earth flat. I mean, that's a lie. You do only measure Earth flat. But you understand, as we understand, that Earth is measured flat. Now, in spite of us being the right, I'm not going around saying we need to shut you down. We need to shut your channel, shut your... Do I? Now, that's the kind of idiot ramblings from a demented McToon. Shut your channel, you're shut down, you're... Really? No, I'm not, you delusional idiot. I'm still very much broadcasting. But for the fact that you, zealots, feel the need to shut us down, it wouldn't be the case that I'd have to instruct people to exercise their belief in a ball. You're allowed. Everyone's entitled to their belief. But you know that we're right. You know that Earth's measured flat, and it really stings. And the only way you can deal with that is by shutting us down, or trying to. Pathetic. But it's telling. The public at large see that sort of shit and go, why? Got one side that says, have whatever belief you like. Earth will still be measured flat. Do what you like. Run your YouTube channel. I hope it feeds your kids. What's that? You want to shut your channel, shut your? Why? Why can't you get on with your day with your globe belief, McToon? It's just too painful for you. Yeah, it is. I know it is. Otherwise you wouldn't be, shut your channel, you're shut. Would you? But you do, because that's the only way you can cope, by trying to get rid of the awful truth. Now, if the ball was true, that wouldn't be necessary. You'd just be saying, as I say, yeah, I can believe in a flat Earth if you like. Won't change how ball-shaped the world's measured. If it was, it isn't. It's measured flat.
Yeah, and we promoted that whole Antarctica thing, right? We went live that day. We were just interested in what was going on because we knew it was measured flat. We knew what they would find. And he decided to call your show and scream into the microphone or the phone in the whatever they were in. Let's say they were in Antarctica and it was snowing and cold. He screamed, there are no guns. Where's the guns, Nathan? We were just demonstrating that we were interested, right? We supported them. Where's the guns? Oh, you asked him about the measurements. That's right. Yeah, that hurts sometimes.
Yeah,
the thing is, what we're doing now. Sorry, no.
No, you go ahead.
Just saying the thing, what we're doing now, showing these normies, like we're saying, we're showing just normal people measuring Earth flat, flying airplanes, treating Earth as flat, like you do. Trigonometry, triangulation. We're showing normal people measuring Earth flat and dealing with Earth flat. You know, that's what everybody does. That's what we're highlighting. That's what we're pointing out. These people aren't getting angry when they're showing you how the sun's altitude is measured from a horizontal plane to just telling you how it's done. You need the horizontal constant, don't you, Jim?
Yeah, you certainly do. You certainly do need the horizontal constant because that's where you live, you see. But I won't be. I don't care if they want to believe in the globe. That's up to them. I'm not going to go onto their servers though or their channels to support them. No, I'm not going. You won't find me there doing that. But you want to carry on thinking you're on a globe? Good luck to you. That's all I'll say there.
Well, speaking of servers, currently the public gateway is Discord, and it has been for quite some time. And the reason Discord is being used as the public gateway is because I had to change from using Google Plus, formerly known as Hangouts on Air. And the reason I had to change was because Hangouts on Air was connected to the social media section for Google Hangouts. So like Teams or Discord itself, you as a member of the public could join Google Hangouts and effectively take control of Google Hangouts on Air, my public gateway at the time. Now, back in the day, that meant that people who heard about Earth being flat and saw that we were broadcasting about it felt the need to join my show via the public gateway and then play pornography while the show was continuing in an attempt to get the show shut down. Again, to stop me from making a living, they play pornography. So to combat that, I now have a very convoluted, complex system in place that allows you, the general public, to join this show. You can click on the link that's below this video, like I say in every single intro, and it will currently at least take you to the flip side, which is the Discord server used to offer the public a gateway to the show. And that's always been the case. If it's Hangouts on Air or Discord, whichever it may be, there's always been the facility to allow you, the general public, or in the case of the example we're currently making, McToon, to join the show. So we can rant about shut your channel, shut your, and where are the guns, via that public gateway. Now, Discord, the one that we're using at the moment, is new. That is to say, Divergent Droid set it up several months ago, but hasn't really been using it in earnest until recently. Now, if you did want to join the show, or indeed chat, because I don't use Discord for that purpose, literally the only thing I need from Discord is currently being offered to me via what we have, which is called the FED voice chat, which means that you, as a member of the public, can click the link, get voice verified, that is to say, check you've got a working microphone and that you're not just there to spam, and then you can join the show. Express your views on the nature of Earth, like I say in every single intro. So that is the purpose of Discord for me currently. Moreover, if you did want to join the current Discord server, which is called The Flip Side, run by Divergent Droid, if I could say it, then all you need to do is click that link that's below this show, and you can join that server. Then you can, if you choose to, take part in the voice, text, chats, whatever it is that's available to you in that server, like any of the servers that I join. My desired use for that server, or any server that I utilize, because I don't own a server and probably never will, is that I've got that public gateway. That's all it's there for me. To offer you, the general public, a way to get on the show, a means of communicating directly with the panel and with myself about the nature of Earth. Now, that facility has been there since the show has begun. There has always been the ability for you, the general public, to join the show and directly say, no, when you say Earth is measured flat because you've just covered a video where the guy's measuring Earth flat, that doesn't mean it's flat. Just because he's measuring it flat doesn't mean Earth's flat. What kind of an idiot are you? You can do that if you choose to. So
Nathan, hold on. It sounds like your show, it's been a war against your show from the start. My goodness.
Say that again.
It seems like there's been a war against your show from the start. I remember that time. I was a listener, and I remember them coming in and porn bombing you, and that's why you had to have two panels.
Yeah.
It seems like you're onto something, man. Everybody's fighting against you. Get this channel off the air.
Yes.
We're over the target.
Yeah, because Earth's measured flat. Now, we haven't got there when people were porn bombing me or trying to usurp the Google Hangouts on Air that I used to live stream before I had OBS. But the awful truth was obviously simmering just below the surface the whole time. And the only way you can deal with that if you're a normie and you want to believe you're on a ball is to shut your channel, like Toon attempted. Well, that's pathetic. Nobody's out there, we aren't out there, saying you need to shut down your globe channel because you've got a religion that you're punting on the entire, I was about to say Western world, but it's the entire world. I'm not trying to shut you down. If you want to be a Scientologist, you are entitled to be a Scientologist. If you want to be a heliocentric believer and believe that you're on a ball flying around the sun because you've taken flat Earth measurements and mathematically created a ball to put in orbital motion around the sun after you've derived the flat Earth measurements to do so, you can. I'm not going to come along to your channel and say, you must stop. You're poisoning the world with heliocentric religious beliefs. Nah, you can do what you like. If that's how you make your money, more power to you. If you're out there spewing your religious rhetoric about being on a ball flying around the sun, okay, I'm not going to try and stop you. Why would I do that? Live and let live. What's that? You need me to shut your channel, shut your? Yes, because Earth's measured flat. And that's absolutely intolerable to people who've got a religious belief that they're on a ball.
Yeah,
I was up.
I'm sorry, one day. So you're going to need a horizontal constant in order to be a glober. That's all I was going to say. So, and please do come onto the show and explain yourself.
Well, that's what I was going to say, Jen. Sorry to interrupt. We said it yesterday, me and the lads, like, after watching that video yesterday of the guy, after 15 seconds explaining how you measure the sun altitude using the horizontal plane that you're standing on, and our comments about you're not actually in the centre of the globe doing this, that's just pathetic and impossible. It'd be nice to have somebody like a globe believer on who, after listening and watching the video and listening to our comments, which was just nice, normal comments pointing out the contradictions and the errors the guy was talking about and explaining about the protractor view on the horizontal plane you're standing on. Get somebody who believes in not coming on shouting about levels curved and horizontal, point out where you think how you're seeing this differently than us, or how it's not correct what we're pointing out the obvious in a nice controlled conversation manner. We'll listen to you. We will listen to you.
Yeah, but they're not gonna be able to get past the horizontal constant.
Well, nobody can, and so as soon as they say, well, I can't. I'm not a mind reader. I've not got a crystal ball, but they've seen that the horizontal constant is being used. So there is no curvature whatsoever in that video, or description or demonstrations of the sun's altitude being measured.
Yeah,
because you flat earthers can't math.
Well, the closest they come to a curve, if you see this description on screen, obviously north and the direction towards the sun are both opposed to each other. One is 90, one is it's off screen now. Okay, if you look at this diagram, the closest you can come to describing any curve is the angle that you measure to the sun around a protractor that you would look through to measure that angle and give it a value. That's the conversion from a flat plane with your north, south, east and west on it, as described in this diagram, to a spherical system based on the protractor that you've used to measure the angles from the flat plane to things like Polaris or the sun or whatever it is you're measuring in the sky, normally a twinkling light. But that curvature is what becomes the claim to be surface of Earth that you must stand within to actually make measurements of angles to the lights in the sky. In other words, Earth as a sphere is nothing more than a glorified protractor.
That's absolutely. I can't get my head round how people are looking at that, listening to what you're saying, listening to what the actual, the guys on the videos are saying this, what we're reviewing, but that highlighting that is an impossibility. That guy, he's not in the centre of a globe Earth. I mean, we all know that, yeah? Let's just make that very clear. That's absolutely ridiculous. He's on a flat horizontal plane. The dome over him, the protractor view, what Nathan's just explained, is your perspective vision. That's how it works. Yeah, that's it. He's on a flat horizontal plane, and that's the angle, depending on the position of the lights in the sky, how you would view them.
Yeah,
now, if
we
anybody
laughed
can
yesterday.
think, yeah, I'm just sorry, Jim. Go on, I'm finished, mate.
Sorry, yeah, we laughed about that yesterday. That we would say to the guy, get into the center of the earth and then start doing it, please, because you're talking about being on the earth here, but you're not actually in the center. Can you get in the center, please, right now?
You can't.
Move.
You can't, but you can measure with respect to the surface level for the angle, and you can describe the angles through a curved protractor and then claim that that's the surface of the Earth that you're standing in. But the surface of Earth will still be inside the ball and depicted as a flat plane. Here's what the guy was covering yesterday with altitude and azimuth. The measurement in degrees to the sun with an elevation angle, and considering north as 0 degrees, the azimuth angle of the flat plane, circular, to describe that as a positional piece of information. Those two measurements both require the surface be flat. That is how Earth is measured. With that, I'm going to say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to all of you who liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.